history. You hear about this and you read about that. I don't want to look at Grumpy Cat. This is how to watch TV. What's that I hear? You hear the Lost finale. It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name's Joel.
My name is Jenna. We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can find all of our social media links at thisishowtowatchtv.com.
We are back after a little hiatus. Jenna had a cruise to go on. Oh, suddenly that's more important. She had to do some research for what it was like to be on the freighter.
I did.
Yeah, so how was sick bay? Did you go into the sick bay at all?
Why would you want to? You feel like the whole ship is a sick bay.
It does feel like, every bay you pull into becomes a sick bay.
Every time you went into a restaurant, they made you hand sanitize. And there would be people like standing in doorways with hand sanitizers and squirt bottles. And there was one guy that was always singing, "Washy, washy, make you happy, washy, washy." Like all day. It was ridiculous. Like whatever he was saying.
It's just over and over again.
Oh my God.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah. So it was cool.
Yeah.
I tried to take some pictures. I'll have to show you when I actually dump them of
Would you
the
go on
islands.
a cruise again?
Not for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
it was expensive and not any better than vacations that we go to, like Disney or an all-inclusive in Mexico, or, I mean, but it was not, I mean, the kids loved it, so
Yeah.
I think if more people were on it that we knew, we didn't see anybody. Like, we went on this cruise because all of the family was supposed to be going and nobody went. And the people that did go, there was like 14 people aside from the 9 of us, and we never saw them on the ship.
Oh, but the 9 of you hung out the whole time?
The 9 of us hung out, yeah. Or like Pam and Lee would go do their own thing,
Right.
and Mom and Janice would go, and like the 5 of us, like my family would be together all the time.
Right.
But, so there was no like fun, everybody's in the pool hanging out at the same time. That wasn't a thing. If we were all together, we were at dinner or we were like in the room, and then we're all like this.
Right.
So, I mean, it wasn't like the fun times that we have hanging by the pool or when we're in Disney or whatever.
I'm not a huge fan of boats and you know, enough.
It was really creepy. And somebody went overboard, and I'm glad that I didn't know about it until after we got back. So, like, some guy fell off at like 3:45 in the morning.
Really?
And they stopped the ship and turned around and got him.
Turned around? Why didn't they just send somebody off with a little rubber dinghy
they
or
stopped the ship and just, I don't know how long it took him, but yeah, they sent off one of those.
Throw it in reverse.
Yeah.
The big beep,
No, they
beep.
did. Like, there was one time where we went into this dock and we literally went like this, and then he drove sideways to the dock.
Like, how the
cool.
ideal way to parallel park.
Yeah. I mean, awesome. The fact that you could just, okay, we're here. I mean, the views were beautiful. The fact that you wake up to the sun over the ocean and literally nothing else was awesome and super freaking scary all at the same time. Right. I mean, because
the ocean sort of terrifies me.
It's so terrifying. I
You're
really thought
insignificant in
you're
relation
nothing.
to it.
Although
you fell off the boat.
Right. I mean, he had to be doing something stupid where he was like, "Oh, watch! I can walk on the railings." That's my guess.
Maybe he
I don't
put
know.
chains over himself and walked off.
I don't know. So, I mean, creepy. The ship that we were on, 2 people have committed suicide on in the past 4 months. Like, one guy jumped from the 17th.
It's a good omen. Did they mention that in the brochure?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Some guy jumped from the 17th deck down to the 7th deck and died. And then one guy jumped off the 14th deck and killed himself in the ocean.
Well, we're here to talk about Chronologically Lost episode 77, December 26th through 28th, 2004, days 96 to 98 on Island. Just wanted to use that awesome segue there to...
Yeah, no problem.
We start on day 96 at night, and in Dharmaville, Claire, Danielle, Carl, Alex, Hurley, Sawyer are all staring at Ben as Locke brings in Miles. Locke tells him no more secrets. Miles says that they're here for Ben. And
You said Carl.
yeah.
Oh, Locke, Danielle. Okay, yeah.
Carl,
I'm sorry.
Alex, yeah. Miles tells them they're here for Ben, and once they have Ben, they're basically going to kill everybody else on the island. And no one wants Ben on the team, and Ben tells them that Michael is the spy. So we finally get to see that Hurley, especially, like, what?
Right.
I mean, he did murder his girlfriend.
Like, nobody likes Michael, and we always forget that. Because when
mean,
you watch it normally, it
feels like he keeps coming back in the normal version. In this one, it almost feels a little more contained. Like, he just has the one return.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like it went on for so long because we're well into season 4.
Yeah. I don't know. It seemed like people hated him less in the normal way, but this way it feels like everybody hates him, or maybe we just realize how much they hated him all along.
Right. It's just kind of a little more obvious in this version. In the freighter, an alarm sounds, waking up Desmond and Saeed, probably using a thing like that. And it's not Dharma. I forgot. That's the ship. It's just the Kahana.
They had these at the zoo I went to today.
Oh, that's why I have the Lego thing there. I'm going to build the Kahana. I'm going to make something that looks like the freighter.
Oh, that's cool.
Just for the couple more episodes that it's in before it explodes. So the captain's beating the shit out of people on deck to keep them on the island, or to keep them off the island. And he's reminding them of what happened to Minkowski. The captain tells Michael to clean up. Well, Johnson.
Yeah.
And Saeed approaches him, and Michael tells him basically that he's on the boat to die, which I guess ends up happening. I mean, that is his ultimate fate on here, but and I guess he wanted to. He had tried many times, and hell, even in this episode, Kimi tries to kill him and fails. We go to the opening Lost and then come back in Dharmaville, and Locke has taken Miles back, and Sawyer catches up and mentions the $3.2 million Miles asked for. And Locke, he's calling Locke on not being very transparent, and Locke didn't think it was important enough to mention as there are no banks on the island. And Miles laughs and says Linus will figure it out. He wants to survive. And considering a week ago he was a prisoner and tonight he's eating pound cake, he's a guy who gets what he wants.
Right.
I mean, Miles, amazing at this point. You know, just peak
Very witty.
Snark.
Yeah.
Just always got something to say. So Ben asks to speak to Alex, and then he gives her a map to the temple and says it's a sanctuary. And Carl's like, well, why can't we all go? He's like, well, it wouldn't be a sanctuary if everybody knew.
No, I think he was saying, why didn't we know about that?
Oh, right, yeah. But he says basically it's only for us.
Right.
He warns Alex of the fact that the people on the boat will use her to get to him. And Danielle and Carl agree to go, and she asks if they're more dangerous than Ben, and he's like, yes. And that is their goodbye. You think there's still some doubt on whether the freighter people are more dangerous than Ben?
I mean, who do you think is more dangerous?
I mean, I would suggest Kimi is more dangerous.
Only because he's, like, openly shooting at people right now. I feel like Ben ultimately is more dangerous because he's, like, plotter and, like, he'll kill you eventually, kind of, you know?
Well, the long con, I guess you could say. I don't know, I guess...
Immediately, in the moment, yes, they're more dangerous than I am.
I mean,
but
Ben,
in the
Ben
grand
would
scheme
always,
of life, Ben is more dangerous.
I guess just depending on who you are, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're more crazy, just kill everybody at this point.
Yeah.
We are in day 97 and on the freighter, and Saeed tells Desmond that he's in the engine room. And he says the captain sent them down here to help with the repairs. They go down and see Michael. And Saeed demands Michael explain how he got on the boat, and he tells him that he's working for Ben. And it was like, Saeed, don't get too comfortable on that high horse of yours about working for Ben off the island.
Yeah.
Saeed takes Michael into the captain and explains who he is and that he's a traitor. All pretty straightforward in this version.
Yeah, because before it was kind of like, why are you so mad? Although we had to know, but I don't remember. I mean, I feel like he should have had more loyalty to Michael.
No, because again, he murdered Libby a couple months ago.
And
I mean, not
Lucia,
even.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what day that took place on, but it was probably in the 40s or 30s of them. Well, no, it had to be after 48 because the first 48 days.
Yeah.
So we're talking 50, 60 maybe. 50, yeah,
So
day 50
like,
or 60.
But we're on day 90?
Yeah.
So 30, a month
So
ago.
almost, only a month ago. So he hasn't been gone very long. It seems like he's been gone for a while.
It does. Yeah, like 4 years.
In the jungle, Danielle, Carl, and Alex are walking to the temple. Rousseau checks the map, and I noticed that they're where the polar bears were, or the polar bear was.
Okay.
Where they shot the polar bear. That was just on the side of a road, in between Dharmaville and somewhere else.
Nice.
I can't remember. I'm going to end up just making a little montage video out of my Lost tour because I'm so mad at myself because I sucked at vlogging then.
Yeah.
And I wasn't vlogging. I don't know what I thought I was filming. I was just holding my camera down at my side.
We were just walking with it. And it wasn't even like at eye level.
No.
You're like, here.
It doesn't make sense. Like, I'm very angry when I'm like, oh, I'm just going to whip together an old school vlog here. Nope. So, let's see. Carl has a bad feeling about this, that Ben is playing them, and he realizes that he and Ben have one thing in common, that they don't want Alex to get hurt. They start hearing bullets whipping past, and boom, Carl is dead. I love you very much, Alexandra. 1, 2, 3, Danielle's dead too. And Alex says she's Ben's daughter, don't shoot. I remember that being particularly traumatic. Seeing Rousseau die.
Yeah.
Because it was like, no, we didn't even get her backstory yet.
Know.
But we have already.
Yeah.
We've already seen it this time.
Oh, we didn't get it at that time? We hadn't seen her backstory?
No, her backstory wasn't until season 5.
Oh. That just like filler at that time when the writer's strike was going on?
No, 4 was... I don't know. They offed her so quickly. I was just worried that like I wasn't going to get to know more about her.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting to see her younger when she met Jin.
Oh yeah.
You know, when they crashed or whatever. I don't know. On the beach, Kate and Jack share a weird moment, and Jack finds some pills, and Kate busts his balls about having a prescription. He's not feeling well. He thinks he's got a stomach bug. His sick gut thinks they're getting off the island, and Bernard's yelling for help. We see the doctor from the freighter is dead, and Vincent found him, and Charlotte and Faraday recognize him, and so they are in the future slightly.
Yes.
We haven't got an exact number of minutes or hours or anything, but that was what I concluded from that. It's like, oh, okay, that's what he meant by they were off. They're...
because they radioed back and they said, you know, they said, what's wrong with the doctor? And they said, what do you mean? Or something. Yeah. So he wasn't even dead yet on the freighter, but he had washed up on shore already.
Right. That's kind of the mind-boggling stuff that,
yeah, because when they left, if they're ahead of time, so then they left the island on the helicopter and didn't arrive at the freighter until like at midday, so they were like traveling backwards in time almost.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Which is confusing then, because where are we at?
Right.
You know, what day are we actually on? Maybe it's a different day on the freighter versus on the island. You didn't think of that, Chronologically Lost editor. In Dharmaville, Hurley, Sawyer, and Locke are playing Risk, but making it seem like they're talking about other decisions.
Yeah.
And Hurley can't believe Sawyer is giving Locke Australia. It's the key to the whole game. The Leftovers and Lost, it feels like. You know, Australia seems to be such a key element. Damon Lindelof. Yeah. If you're not watching The Leftovers, do so. Jeremy did not like episode 5, the Matt episode, but I watched it yesterday.
I'm going to have to watch it again because I just don't get it.
watch it again because it
Granted,
actually
was
turned
like-
out to be pretty good.
Okay.
It was showing his journey from like believing.
Wasn't he like on like the Ark, like Noah's Ark, almost with everybody on there?
No,
I was so, like nodding off.
I was too the first time I watched it.
So that's
no,
why it didn't make any sense.
It was a sex arc. Like it was a sex ferry that they had. That sounds weird.
So they like take off and everybody has sex and they go back to shore and then they get off?
No, a sex party rented the entire ship.
Okay.
And they needed to get somewhere, so they went on the ship. But I don't know. It's.
And he was on there?
Matt ended up having to go to where they were going, and there was no other ship available. The airport was shut down, so he had to. That was the only.
Oh, okay. So he's trying to get to Australia, where Kevin is, and he had to go on the sex ship.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you the rest of the episode.
Fine.
We have this
I'll
one to
watch
go
it,
through,
yeah.
but it actually was good when I watched it again.
I feel like I need to rewatch 4 before I watch 5.
Probably.
So I'm just off an episode.
Right.
I'm on
and
4
Jeremy
and 5.
I are going to be discussing 3, 4, and 5. I'm sorry it's been so disjointed this year in terms of no consistency with that, but it was just poorly timed with schedules and whatnot. No big deal. In the jungle, Kimi puts a blindfolded Alex on her knees and tells her to turn off the pylons, and she does, but triggers code 14J, and the phone rings, and they go and find Ben sitting in the house that Jack was in, and he's playing the piano.
Yeah.
And they ask him what 14J means, and he pulls out a shotgun from the bench. So he's just playing his... You know what I mean? He's just waiting for the moment when he would need to use that and realized, okay, they're sort of on my team now, and tossed the gun over to Sawyer.
Right.
He says they're here, and Alex tripped the panic switch at the security fence.
But he didn't know that it was Alex.
No, he didn't know it was Alex, sorry. And Sawyer wants to go get Claire and Aaron, and they're like, there's no time. And Ben tells Locke that it's important that he survives this, so stay near him. Because he figures they're not going to shoot him. I mean, I guess.
Locke or Ben?
Ben.
Oh.
At the beach, Jack talks about the doctor's throat being slit, and Faraday says he was fine the last time he saw him. He's like, when was that? And he's like, well, when is a relative term. Like, you really got to just drop that in. You couldn't just say yesterday.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or whenever the fuck it was. Just say something.
Sometime within the last 48 to 64 hours.
Jack is hurting, and Faraday says the mic is on... Oh, the mic is broken on the sat phone. And he asks for a bunch of MacGyver stuff to do Morse code. Back in Dharmaville...
Who remembers Morse code?
I mean, Bernard...
Why?
Because
he's a dentist?
I guess.
And he's playing Morse code on people's teeth? No.
That's not a thing. I don't think
No,
people
it's
play
not
Morse...
a thing. Morse code is not a thing. That's my point. I mean, it was used forever ago.
Bernard's forever ago old. His
Okay.
dad could have taught him in a forever
I
ago
mean, you
story.
can learn it when you go to the Museum of Science and Industry. However,
Can I?
yeah. They have it all up there. And then
I'm
you can
not
actually...
gonna. I'm gonna say this right now. I will never learn Morse code.
But who's listening to those beeps and goes, the doctor is fine.
Right.
No.
Right.
You gotta like write that shit down.
Bernard, he's got that
No.
shit down pat. Back in Dharmaville, Ben and Locke are fortifying the door, and Sawyer's looking for Claire. The guy he asks gets killed, and then like 3 more people come out, and he's like, "Look out!" Boom, dead. Look out! Boom, dead. I mean, fucking hilarious.
So here's the thing. So today I go on this field trip with Maddie. They all have to wear their Eisenhower, their school T-shirt, you know, that they got at the beginning of the school year. Every year they all get a shirt for the school year, and it's like their whole, like all of kindergarten gets one color, and all of first grade gets one color, and every grade level gets a color, and they're supposed to wear that for every field trip, for every special event at the school for the year. Anyway, Maddie's color this year is red. So we're going on this like field trip today, and we're at the park, and somebody was like, "Oh, look at all the red shirts over there." And I look over and I'm thinking, God, they're all gonna die. Like,
Amazing.
because
of the
that's
term red
the
shirt,
shit
yeah.
that like I think of when somebody says red shirts
Yeah.
because of my husband. You know,
Right.
like that's ridiculous. So yeah, all those red shirts came out of the houses to die.
Right. I mean,
Like, who were these people? We've never seen them on the island.
right, and they're just hanging out.
Yeah, there's
along
still
with this
40
group.
people left. I mean, come on.
Right. So one of the houses gets blown up, and Sawyer finds Claire in there. Aaron is crying, but Hurley has him, and Ben says this is shock and awe, and they're just trying to scare him out. And Locke asks why he needs to survive this, and he's like, we got to go to Jacob together, and Hurley is the one who knows where the cabin is. So Sawyer finds Claire, and then Hurley rigs up a laundry basket crib.
Super
I mean,
cute.
the fact that they had a laundry basket on the island is sort of like,
Well,
okay.
I mean, in Dharmaville, that's
get it.
believable.
Sawyer's running toward the house, and Hurley throws a chair through the window so Sawyer and Claire can come in. And Sawyer asks Ben why they were shooting without even saying what they wanted, and he's like, those people were murdered to make you angry. And that makes sense, like that's the kind of shit that would get Sawyer. But it's not like they did that to make Sawyer angry. They would have killed Sawyer if they could. You think they were really not shooting him intentionally?
No.
Because it was pretty bad shot.
Yeah.
When
it was
he was hiding behind it's like me hiding behind this beer.
Yeah.
He's hiding behind the fence post.
Yeah.
No, you can be shot all around it, and it's a machine gun. Just go, brrr,
Yeah.
done, dead.
And he only didn't die because his story wasn't over. I mean, that's it.
Fine. He says, then you'd be more likely to throw Ben to the wolves, and he's like, good plan. The doorbell rings, and Sawyer opens it, and it's Miles. They gave him a walkie, and he says there's maybe 6 of them, and Ben jokes that Miles isn't going to collect his $3.2 million, and Miles tells Ben to talk to them. They have a hostage. It's Alex. So Ben says hello. Kimi answers, and he asks him to look out the window, gives him his terms and shit, and walk out the door with his hands on his head and straight to him. Once he's in custody, there's nothing stopping him from killing everyone else. And he's like, what kind of man do you think I am? And then he just fucking lays out his entire life.
Right.
And basically he's a mercenary, and they bring Alex out, and he threatens to kill her. And Ben just tells him, look, just fucking leave instead. Not the best negotiating tactic.
Not at all. What are you talking about?
Right.
We're not going anywhere.
And he gives the walkie to Alex, and she tells Ben they killed Carl and her mom, and he says he has it under control, and she's like, please, Daddy, in 10 seconds. And Ben says, she's not my daughter. I stole her as a baby from an insane woman. She's a pawn, nothing more. She means nothing to me. I'm not coming out of this house. If you want to kill her, go ahead and do it. And they fucking do.
I remember being devastated when that happened.
I was pretty devastated when it happened again. I mean, fuck, why?
Why are you
God,
killing her?
stop doing that.
Even though her eyeballs were fake, that always bothered me that her contacts were
Well, she had to have brown eyes for this part.
No, she had blue eyes.
She
had brown eyes, but she had to have blue eyes.
Yeah, okay, well, whatever.
But her contacts were so fake, and it was so obvious. That's all.
Anyway, they disappear into the jungle, and Ben hasn't moved from the window, and he's mumbling to himself that he changed the rules. Have we discussed the rules that there appear to be between Charles Widmore and Ben?
Yeah, what are the rules?
That you can't... There's already a gnat back.
Oh, God.
We're back to gnat season, folks. It's been a long time since gnat season.
It's been a year. Okay, so what are the terms?
I don't know what the rules are. Just, I'm assuming that you can't kill the daughters.
Yeah.
That you can't, the family's off limits.
So when this happened, then we were all like, oh, shit, he's going to kill Penny. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. So, Ben moves the bookcase and shuts himself into a room, and then he opens another door that has carvings on it. And I remember being fascinated by that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, who put that there? So that could have been there from who knows how long ago. And, almost like another entrance to, the, where Man in Black had the donkey wheel.
Yeah.
Like another pocket.
Right.
So Sawyer's pounding on the door. Claire seems okay. Ben reemerges like nothing happened, and he tells them to run to the tree line at his order, and the smoke monster shows up. In huge form this time. I mean, like a freight train.
Yeah.
Way more smoke. Does it... It can just decide how big it wants to be?
Maybe.
It started pretty small.
Maybe it depends
It started about this
of
big.
anger and rage going into the smoke.
Okay, fair enough. It finally got through the fence. That was notable, I think, that it was able to come into Dharmaville, where it had always been blocked out of the sonic fence. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fucking up the mercenaries, and Locke asks what Ben did, and Hurley asks if he called that thing, and Ben tells him to run for the tree line. He's going to say goodbye to his daughter, and then he cries and closes her eyes and kisses her on the forehead. I mean, it made you feel for him a little bit, compared to where, I forget that the Ben at the time was, you know what I mean, so untrustable, and you didn't know what his motivation was going to be. We only with hindsight can we go, okay, he ends up on a okay note. So
yeah, I guess
like he comes around to the good side, so to speak. On the beach at night, Faraday's doing Morse code and asks what happened to the doctor, and it comes back, and Faraday seems upset. And he says, they didn't say what happened, but your friends are fine, and the helicopter is coming back in the morning. And it really said, what are you talking about? The doctor's fine. That was Bernard. And Jack asks why he's lying, and asks if they were ever going to take him off the island. No,
that was
and
not
then
the plan.
Jack doubles over in pain. In the jungle, Miles decides to stay with them for now, and Sawyer gives him a forever torch. Because if you're going to be with the group, you need a forever torch.
So many of them.
Ben walks out of the woods, and Locke says he's sorry about Alex. And that being said, you lied to me about not knowing what the smoke monster was. And he said, we can ask Jacob when we go to the cabin. Jacob's going to tell us what to do next.
Is he, though?
No. He's never been,
no.
But you know what? I have forgotten what Ben's plan is with that. Can you make sure that's not hitting the mic when it goes down?
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't know if it is or not. I was just thinking about it. I was
trying to keep it away from the mic because I feel like it was sitting on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was Ben's plan?
I can't remember. I can't remember why he was taking him to the cabin.
Because he couldn't find it? But Hurley knew where it was?
But does he legitimately think that's Jacob?
I don't know.
If
I don't think
if
he's ever
speaking
met
the truth, he
the
thinks
real
that
Jacob.
is, though. No, he absolutely hasn't. So Sawyer says he's going back to the beach with Claire and Aaron, and Miles is going too, as well as Hurley. And Locke pulls his gun on him and says Hugo stays with them. They need him to find the cabin. Hurley says he'll go, and Sawyer threatens to kill Locke if he hurts Hurley. So, he's taken on a friend...
I guess.
A friend-ish role to Hurley, almost protectory Sawyer.
Yeah.
He's starting to come around to that side where you're like, okay, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Day 98 on the beach, Juliet wakes up Jack, and we get another eye-opening shot. And Bernard is yelling at Faraday about the lack of signal from the boat. And Rose is getting mouthy with Charlotte. It's weird because, I remember liking Rose.
And I remember liking Charlotte, and she's super
right, and both of them
and
kind of suck.
Yeah.
They're both kind of dicks. Rose is too judgmental and just talks without thinking. She just says what comes to her mind. But
I think that's her age group, too.
Right, no, maybe it is.
Yeah.
It's just so I just say what I think, bullshit, but I don't know. It's weird in this version.
Yeah,
they're less likable. I think it was the mystery before of what was wrong with her, what is wrong with her. Are her and Bernard going to be happy? Are they both going to survive? Now it's like, again, knowing where it all goes.
Yeah, I agree.
Jack knows they're lying, but eventually their people will come for them, and they'll be waiting. And Jack says he will get them off this island, and then he collapses, and he tries to get up on his own, but he's burning up. So he's trying to be brave here. You get what's happening, right? In terms of his sickness?
No. What do you mean?
The island is telling him to stay.
Oh, I see.
It's like...
I guess.
It's doing everything it can to prevent him from leaving. Just like with Rose or Locke, it's doing everything it can to keep them from...
keep them there, yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
for Jack, it doesn't take healing him; it takes fucking him up, because he's so stubborn that he has to fight against it, and he's
And
determined.
He wants to stay. Yeah.
And like literally the moment he says, "I'm gonna get you off here," I guarantee it collapses. Like that's it.
Done.
So in the jungle, Sawyer, Miles, and Claire are walking through the polar bear trees, and Claire says she's feeling better and not seeing things anymore. And Miles hears Carl and Danielle's deaths, and asks who they are, and he uncovers their buried face, then Carl's, or hers, then Carl's. Miles says he didn't sign up for this, meaning their deaths. So he's meaning like he's taking responsibility for it in a way. By going, I didn't sign up to be a part of this, like this shit happening. That's not cool. Which is sort of making him a little more sympathetic.
Yeah. And the fact that he's got to listen to these dead people. Like, I didn't sign up for this shit. Like,
he's like, I need some more money.
Yeah.
Like, I got to ask Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad for some more money and then give it back to him later. At the beach, Jack is popping antibiotics. He hates being sick. He calls it food poisoning. And Juliet asks him to lift up his shirt and then pushes on his appendix, and it's clearly that.
Yeah.
The pain started
why
yesterday.
would he not have been able to self-diagnose that?
He was, but he figured they'd leave before it would be a problem.
Oh, he was hoping that he would be able to just have surgery before it burst?
Right. Juliet's basically going to have to take it out, and she sends Son to the medical hatch. Faraday offers to go with to help identify instruments and says he's done some animal autopsies. And we know he has with
Eloise.
Eloise. He always named the mouse Eloise? Is that what we were to take from that?
Yeah.
It's not like there was just one Eloise.
And the bunnies weren't named Eloise, were they? Or
The bunnies were not his.
The bunnies of Ben's.
No.
Okay.
I don't think they had names. They were numbered.
Right, okay.
Charlotte's shitty attitude is why they don't trust them, is what Faraday told her. And Juliet gives Faraday the list and Jen a gun. And they need to create a sterile environment. Grab as many tarps as you can.
Oh my god. What are the tarp store?
Right, because at this point there's any tarps that they haven't deemed necessary to use.
Maybe they're going to people's houses and just, oh, sorry, we need your hut. Oh, sorry, we need your wall. Oh, give me your roof. Thanks so much.
I mean, every tarp should be being used to its maximum efficiency at this point. You're on day 98 on the island. You shouldn't still have tarps that have been sitting since day one.
No, that would be ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, but 3 people did just die in Dharmaville, so those 3 tarps just came available.
Okay, well, they can't move him or he could die. In the jungle, Miles is staring at Claire and the baby, and Sawyer tells him not to think about it. He's like, don't look at her, don't talk to her, don't mess with her.
Yeah.
Restraining order, 20 feet. At the beach, Rose and Bernard are cleaning a piece of metal, and Bernard thinks she's worried about Jack. She's thinking, why is he getting sick the day before we're supposed to get rescued? People don't get sick here, they get better. Juliet's shaving Jack's stomach, and she says she did a bunch of appendectomies in her residency. I don't think she did.
A bunch?
Yeah, I don't think she did. I think...
Well, she probably had to just tell him that, make him feel better about himself.
So Jack wants to talk her through it, and he wants to watch the procedure via mirror. And he wants Kate to be holding the mirror, not
Sounds
Bernard.
like a really hipster fucking birthing sex. Like, that's... you hold the mirror, and I'll watch, and then I want to touch the hair as it's coming out. That kind of shit. Like, no thank you. Just pull the appendix out of my body, and let's move on.
Yeah, let's just get it done.
And
Next. In the medical hatch, Faraday wants to go in first to make sure it's safe for Charlotte.
Yeah.
And Jen asks if Charlotte knows that Faraday likes her. She's a woman, she knows. And Charlotte flashes a smirk at Jen. So, letting him know that she understands Korean. Stupidly. Why would she give that away? I mean, unintentional laugh. Charlotte.
Oh,
she kind of laughed she kind of smirked a little bit
when they told a joke.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, she's a woman. She knows. This is where Son saw the baby, and she says they're not going to help them. Jin promises to get her and the baby off the island. He should have promised to get himself off the island as well. He knows Charlotte understands Korean, and back in the jungle, Miles offers to help with the baby, and he's like, what part of restraining order do you not understand?
most of it.
Right. The trees start rustling, and it's Lapidus. I'm like, it's Frank. Who the fuck is Frank? Lapidus,
Who's Frank?
He tells them to hide, saying Kimi's coming now. And he asks where the chopper is. And then Aaron makes a noise for the first time in the entire time he's been on the fucking island.
Although, could you imagine trying to hold a baby and keep it quiet like that? That would be super stressful.
Yeah. I don't know what you could do. You just what you do is this. My method: you plug the nose, and then you really cover the mouth really good for like 20 minutes, and then it'll just stop after like 30, 40 seconds. No more noises. Frank says he's not flying at night, so they have to go now, and they appear to have gone unnoticed in this whole thing. At the beach, Juliet asks Kate to help out holding the mirror, and she laughs at the thought of Jack not having already taken it out himself. Kate does.
Yeah.
Kate helps Jack walk to the table and says she's going to be his nurse.
And he's like, oh, God.
He's like, if something happens to me, shut up, Jack. At night, they're back with the supplies, and Jen knows Charlotte understands him, and he calls her on it. If you continue to lie, I'm going to hurt your friend Daniel. We're going to break his fingers one at a time. When the helicopter comes for her, she's going to take Son off the island. He's not concerned with anyone else, and Charlotte appears to agree. So all you have to do is blackmail her, and then she becomes a decent person.
Somewhat.
Right. In the beach, operating tent. That's
oh my God.
Ridiculous. You know, you can't. That's not even a thing. Bernard is going to administer the lidocaine. Wouldn't you rather be dreaming about something nice back home? Which became one of the episode titles.
Really?
Yeah, something nice back home.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Was when we finally saw what Jack and Kate were doing off island.
Arguing about who's drunker?
I guess.
Okay.
No, when they were actually together as a couple.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Kate holds the mirror, and Bernard says he's not going to feel the first incision, but after that he will. And Juliet cuts him open. Gross. And then she spreads it open, and Jack is begging not to be unconscious. And she says he doesn't want to be out of control, and Bernard chloroforms him. So of all the things you could have done, chloroforming is
right.
what
You're out. Goodbye.
I mean, it works quickly, apparently.
Yeah, which is fine.
In the jungle, Miles, Sawyer, and Claire are sleeping by a fire, and Claire wakes up and sees Christian Shepherd with Aaron. Smoke monster, right?
She's dreaming, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Smoke monster. Christian Shepherd's body was on the island. That is the smoke monster as him. And he's able to be within the fence line because the thing was, he just was summoned there. So he saw an opportunity of some way to
be a person?
Yeah. So back at the beach, Bernard says it went well. Juliet's stitching Jack back up, and he should be fine. They just have to talk him into resting. Juliet tells Kate that Jack kissed her the other day when Kate came back from the other side of the island. She's like, it was nice, but it wasn't for me. It was for him. She thinks he was trying to prove something, that he doesn't love someone else. And Kate thanks Juliet for saving his life, and Juliet knew Jack was awake to hear that after Kate walks out. So, I mean, I guess that would have been an awkward time to...
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, good
what
morning.
What are we talking about? I feel great after surgery. You just cut into me and I got chloroformed. In the jungle, Hurley asks who builds a cabin in the jungle anyway. Hopefully the man who lives in the cabin will tell us what to do next. And they ask Ben how long to the cabin, and he says he's been following Hurley. And they make camp, and he's like, in the dark with the monster and him?
Yeah, we have to stay here with him?
And now back on the freighter, Saeed wakes up Desmond because the helicopter's back. The doctor looks at the guy that is hurt, and they tell him that a black pillar of smoke threw him 50 feet in the air and ripped his guts out. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Kimi asks Saeed how many people are on the island and where they are, and the captain approaches, and Kimi puts a gun to his head, claiming the captain gave him up to Ben, and, it was Michael. They go to his room, and Kimi kicks the bed leg out, and it falls on Michael's leg. That looked super painful.
Yeah.
And then he just, stands on it to put the extra... just on the back of your calf or something. Not a good spot. Let's see. Oh, he asks Michael if he knows who he is, and then asks if he gave it to Ben. Yeah, and he puts the gun to his head and pulls the trigger repeatedly, and it won't fire. He's the only one who can fix the engines because he's the one who broke them, and then Kimi just kind of pistol whips him. Pistol whip.
Why is that a
That's The Simpsons.
Oh.
Homer goes, pistol whip.
No.
And you just like pictured eating Cool Whip with a gun. And just like scooped it out of the his little thought bubble. Pistol whip. Oh yeah, it's now daytime and I'm confused on which day it is in the jungle. Like it was.
Yeah, you're not sure if you're ahead or behind.
Yeah, if it's one day beyond what it says on the thing. I figure the guy who edited this knows, so whatever. In the jungle, Miles is up and Sawyer asks where Claire is. And Miles says she just walked off into the jungle in the middle of the night. She left with someone that she called Dad. That would probably be her dad. I mean, if I had to guess.
Yeah, but we just didn't know, and she didn't know at that time, right?
What do you mean she didn't know what? That it was Smoke Monster?
That it was her dad.
She knew it was her dad.
That Christian was her dad?
Yeah, she goes, Dad?
Okay.
Miles says he would have followed them, but he's got a restraining order. And then we hear Aaron crying, and Sawyer finds him by a tree, abandoned, and he shouts for Claire, and then lost. I mean, now I want to watch. Good. Now I want to watch the next episode because we got us talking about it. So when do you want to do another one? Whenever. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying we can do one whenever you want.
Yeah.
We don't have to do another one this week or anything, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can discuss that stuff off the air.
Yeah.
Check out all the other stuff on Comeuppance Network. Subscribe on YouTube. We do a show called Lost to Time. I do a daily vlog if you want to hear more of the shit about like just our lives and whatnot. Mainly mine, but she guest appears occasionally in
I
there.
do. I try.
That's called Chronologically Joel. I kind of snagged that from Chronologically Lost.
Yeah.
And the other podcasts and whatnot, and maybe tell somebody about the show. Leave us a review on iTunes. That would be super helpful. Ideally 5 stars. If you're gonna do a number of stars, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost you more to put 5 stars, is what I'm saying.
It shouldn't cost you anything.
No, you're right. No, that's a fair point. It shouldn't cost you anything, but if it does, still give it 5 stars.
Maybe.
See you next week because
This is how to watch TV.
see you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.